All right, let's pull back the curtain on something that I think most traders feel, but, well, they just don't really understand it. We're going to talk about the hidden rhythm of the market and the entity that's basically conducting the entire orchestra. So let's just dive right in with a question I bet you've asked yourself 1,000 times. You know that feeling, right? You put on a trade and it's like the entire market instantly turns against you. Just boom. Every little spike, every single drop seems like it's precision engineered to hunt down your stop loss. It feels personal. It really does, doesn't it?
Well, listen, here's the thing. You're not paranoid. That feeling, it's real. And it's real because there is a hidden layer to all of this, a deliberate rhythm that most people just never ever hear. And our job today, it's to help you finally see it.
Okay, this right here is the crucial shift in how you need to think. Price movement, it's not random. It's not just a bunch of squiggly lines and patterns on a chart. No, it is a deliberate act. Price moves because some powerful, intelligent force is intentionally moving it. So our first step has to be understanding the unchangeable rules they're playing by. So before we can actually meet the player, we've got to understand the rules of the game they're playing. And it turns out there are 3 fundamental, invisible laws that govern pretty much every market on Earth. And believe me, they are the key to everything we're about to talk about. That's it. Just 3. It's not super complicated, but man, is it profound. These 3 simple laws are the absolute bedrock, the foundation that all sophisticated market manipulation is built on. Okay, law number 1 is the one everybody learns on day 1 and then kind of forgets. Supply and demand. Simple, right? When there's more demand than supply, price goes up. When there's more supply than demand, price goes down. Now that sounds super basic, but here's the kicker. It's also the easiest law in the world to manipulate. If you have the power to control the supply and, manufacture the demand. Second up, we have the law of cause and effect. And this one is huge. Big market moves, I'm talking the really major ones, they don't just happen out of the blue. They are the effect of a long, quiet, deliberate preparation phase. That's the cause. And that's exactly when the smart money is behind the scenes, just quietly building up a massive position, getting ready for the big trend that they themselves are about to help create. And finally, law number 3, effort versus result. Now this is like your built-in lie detector for the market. Think about it. If you see a giant price move, a huge result, but the volume behind it is tiny, almost no effort, something's fishy, right? That mismatch, that is a massive red flag. It's almost always a sign that there's a trap being set, usually for unsuspecting retail traders. Okay, so now we know the laws of the game. It's time to meet the master who plays it so well. Let's talk about the real force behind the price chart, this entity that the original work calls the composite operator. Now let's get one thing straight. This isn't some guy in a dark, smoky room pulling levers. The composite operator isn't a single person, it's a concept. It's a way to think about the collective intelligence of all the big players. The institutions, the giant hedge funds, the market makers, all of them acting as if they were one unified, incredibly smart entity. This is the smart money you always hear about. And this chart, wow, it just lays out the difference perfectly. It's a night and day difference between their playbook and, well, the public's. See, the public reacts to emotions like fear and greed, but the composite operator, they manufacture those emotions. They create the hype and euphoria at the top because, well, they need someone to sell to. And they're the ones quietly buying or accumulating down at the bottom when everyone else is absolutely panicking. It's a perfect inverse relationship. I love this way of thinking about it. The price chart you stare at all day, it's not just data. It's a story. It's a performance that they are staging. It's a carefully written script designed to get a very specific emotional reaction out of the audience, which is you. So your job is to stop being just a member of the audience and to start learning how to read the script. So the big question is, how do you actually start reading that script? Well, you study their playbook. So let's break down the 2 main strategies the composite operator uses over and over again to build their wealth and, just as importantly, get rid of their risk. Okay, so the operator's entire game plan really boils down to 2 main phases, and they are perfect mirror opposites of each other. First, you have accumulation. This happens at the very bottom of the market. Public sentiment is just fear and despair. And what's the operator doing? Quietly buying everything up. Then you have distribution. This is at the top. The public is feeling euphoric, greedy, thinking the price is going to the moon. And what's the operator doing?
quietly selling everything they bought to that exact same crowd. Let's zoom in on accumulation for a second, because it follows a pretty predictable playbook. Step 1, they stop the bleeding. They come in and absorb enough selling to halt the previous downtrend. Step 2, they create a boring sideways trading range. This is where they quietly build up their huge position without anyone really noticing. Step 3, and this one is the sneakiest. They engineer a sharp, scary move down. It's called a shakeout, and it's designed to scare the last few sellers into giving up. And only then, only after they've shaken everyone out, do they let the real uptrend, the markup, begin. And this should lead to a huge shift in how you see the market. See, most retail traders are taught to buy the breakout, to chase the big green candle. But the trader who thinks like the composite operator, they're not focused on the breakout. They're focused on understanding the buildup. Their goal is to get in during that quiet accumulation phase, way before the rest of the crowd even has a clue what's coming. And really, that's the whole point of this. That's the ultimate goal. It's about shifting from being a reactive trader, someone who's always a step behind the action, to becoming a predictive strategist, someone who can actually anticipate the next big move because you understand the intentions of the ones who are really in control. So, I guess I'll just leave you with this one final thought. The market, as we've seen, is basically a performance. It's a show, and it's staged by a very, very skilled storyteller. Now that you've been introduced to the storyteller, now that you know how they write their scripts, the only real question left is, are you going to keep falling for their stories?